A stunning twist in one of the state's most controversial murder cases. After almost 20 years in prison, Henry Keogh is tonight an innocent man. His conviction for drowning his fiancée, Anna Jane Cheney, has been quashed. Ben Avery was at the Supreme Court for this remarkable judgment. Ben, what does this mean?
Well, Kate, it's expected that Henry Keogh will be granted bail here on Monday afternoon, and he will essentially walk out of these doors and spend Christmas with his family for the first time in 19 years. It was an amazing development that happened less than 2 hours ago. Loved ones heard the Court of Criminal Appeal set aside the 58-year-old's conviction due to fresh and compelling evidence. It was an appeal that heard, among other things, that the autopsy report on the victim's body was very poor. Almost 2 decades after the initial verdict, this landmark hearing was not taken lightly. A judgment from not one but 3 of the state's top judges.
This is a turning of the tide for South Australia and nationally as well.
Henry Keogh was sentenced to 26 years jail in 1995 for the murder of his fiancée, Anna Jane Cheney, the previous year. The 29-year-old had been found dead in the bath of her McGill home.
The forensic basis for this case has fallen away completely. The 2 forensic experts appointed by the Crown have both said that there is in fact no support for a theory of homicide or of assault, and that was the most likely explanation is that it was a slip and fall.
A jury accepted Keogh had planned the drowning murder after hearing that he'd forged life insurance documents worth more than $1 million. But the now 58-year-old has always proclaimed his innocence, his lawyers claiming the case was based on flawed forensic evidence. There were numerous failed appeals, and in 2006, the then Deputy Premier, Kevin Foley, rejected an exhaustive petition for clemency.
The overwhelming body of evidence shows it very clearly that Mr Henry Keogh is guilty of a terrible, terrible crime.
But supporters have never given up, among them Gordon Wood, the man who spent 3 years in jail before being acquitted of throwing Carolyn Byrne to her death in Sydney.
I think he will have an element of disappointment because you tend to manage your emotions when you're in this situation, and he wouldn't have been holding out for an outright acquittal, but he would have been hoping for it.
This latest challenge made possible last year when State Parliament passed laws allowing subsequent appeals if fresh and compelling evidence was produced. Now, the bail hearing has been set down for 3:45 here on Monday afternoon. We should also point out that the court has also ordered a retrial on this matter. However, supporters of Henry Keogh certainly don't think that will happen because they believe that prosecutors no longer have the evidence. Kate.
Thank you very much, Ben Avery, reporting there.